You've waited for it. Now you get the exciting climax.
Exciting.
Climax.
Tobias, Virik,
Words.
on the top deck.
Etymology.
Yeah, I don't know. What's the weather out like right now? Is it clear? You like that I asked you a question as soon as you started to, during the 1 second you thought, I could probably eat something now that I'm going to do this for a sec. What's the temperature? Can I see the stars?
Is it a bit balmy?
So we're looking for a 4th PC for this game.
Wait,
It's
why
clear.
are we getting rid of Will? No, I'm just kidding.
It's clear and pretty cold. Unremarkable. You can see the stars though.
Cool. Yeah, I guess when Eric does come up, he'll just find me kind of just sitting close to the bow of the ship, just... I don't know what the right word would be, like fiddling, I guess, with not with like a knife, like a dagger, like with the elvish dagger actually that I bought when we were in Thundral way back in the day.
Hey, Tobias.
Hey, thanks for coming up. I have a question for you. With the whole
Okay.
ferryman thing. What
Okay.
do you have any kind of read on people's souls or what happens to them? How does that work?
I don't know. Honestly, I didn't think it was anything more than just he was gonna train me to do this sort of stuff, which I didn't get. So
Because this is something I hadn't really thought of much before, you know. But it bothers me to think that what if my little brother didn't end up where he was supposed to go?
Huh. Yeah, I didn't think much about this stuff before either. I didn't really think about the, like, souls as being a thing.
I guess in our culture we always thought of it as a thing, but it was just assumed that you went where you were supposed to go. There was no chance that you didn't. And it pains me to think that he is not in the halls of our ancestors. I mean, hopefully and surely he is there, but I don't know. Is there any way? I don't know. I don't know what I'm really asking you. I don't expect you to have answers for me, but...
I mean, if the ferryman's doing what he says he is, if that's the case, he should ferry him where he needs to go.
I think that what you did is a good thing. Whether or not it ends up how it turns out, I think your intentions are good, and I think you're doing the right thing.
Thank you.
It's a noble pursuit. Also, I wanted to apologize to you because I feel like the whole reason we ended up in this mess was because of my own curiosity. I know.
Sorry. And I'm the one that sold his soul, so well, that's not your fault.
Well, the ferryman got a hell of a deal.
I wish Virik wasn't depressed for this conversation. Thank you.
I'm just gonna kind of give you a pat on the shoulder and head back down.
All right.
Virik's actually probably going to sit up there for a little while, then head back down.
Can you two give me wisdom saves?
Yes, come
Maybe.
on, fight it off. The answer is no, but maybe. The answer is no.
The answer is no. Next day, you guys start working on the ship. Very noticeably, you know, the ship turns around, trying to get the best wind possible to travel back down to Palmora, the sort of open port. Because of the shape of Zalstella, you're kind of north of it, sort of northwestish. So you have to kind of go like in. But it's something that like this ship has done a gazillion times. It's just a little faster notice than they necessarily meant. So, can anyone who wants to help on a ship give me your ship helping rolls, please?
Or
Navigation, it was wisdom check, correct?
Just wisdom.
I'm just gonna do strength.
I'm tired.
Hey, Virik and Tobias, can you give me another wisdom check?
I'd like to point out before they do that, actually. Well, you know what? Might not matter. It does a little bit, but I was gonna say in the morning, if I notice that they're still under a malaise,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be casting this. Essentially, just trying to cheer them up a little bit, and also it will give them advantage on wisdom saving throws.
And also my mere presence will give them a +2.
Yeah.
Just by
Well,
being amazing.
being a help won't give them an advantage when they sleep, but the mere presence of Aelenor's sleeping does give them a +2.
It just feels safe with her in the room, you know?
Yeah, to be fair.
Like, to be perfectly clear, like, if I notice that they're still shitty during the day, I'm going to be doing this at night while they're sleeping around them to try and help benefit them to wake up with
In which case, basically, you know, you're spending your spell slots to try and make them feel better. Virik, can you roll that again with advantage? I mean, it'll still probably fail, but...
Yay.
It's after that day of you, you know, doing, like, these curious rituals to try and fill them with hope before battle and what it's, you know, it's meant to be used for, that they do wake up and they feel themselves. One way or another, whether you felt like that was... it's up to you whether you actually feel like you were weighed down during all that time, or whether it's just like, yeah, whatever, I'm fine. You know, everyone acts a little differently, but you are no longer filled with despair.
Good. I wake up with a big yawn.
That is enough for me to recognize the old Tobias. That's good. That puts a smile on Baruch's face, for sure.
Good.
Anyways, back to being horrible at sailing.
Yeah, you have quite a lot of time at sea to chat if you have anything to talk about after your minds are fixed.
How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm on a ship out in the middle of the ocean. All things considered, I feel better than I did yesterday.
That's a good
Which
start.
I realize isn't saying much, but it's better that than the opposite.
Very true.
How are you feeling?
My usual despondent self.
Perfect. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. Well, you know, we saw a lot of things. I understand not feeling good about any of it.
It's true, but we're still here. We have something to do. So.
Yes, we are still here. I'm more concerned about those who aren't. And I'm gonna pat you on the shoulder with that as well. And then say, we best get to work. We're not sailing for free.
I will offer to lead Tobias in a prayer to Ing. It'll make him feel better about being on the sea.
Yeah, I have to offer of that instantly. I'm just like, look, if it helps keep me out of the jaws of a kraken, I'll say a prayer to whoever you need me to say.
Well, the prayers to the Kraken.
Oh God. Wait, that's good though. That's
Ing is
good.
the Kraken.
If he listens, maybe he'll show mercy.
Damn right.
I'm gonna put on makeup to make myself look like a wood elf because I don't want to look like
mountain elf and then
and
fumble
not know-
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because of the way that things have kind of changed and interacted over the last little bit, and Burwood's kind of gathering a little bit more of an understanding of the planes, I guess, and all that.
Life.
Yeah. He's
Oh
gonna
my
try
God, yeah.
something. And he is going to try sending to Althea. Trying to reach out across the plains and see if I can reach her soul.
You feel no connection at all.
Oh.
And when you sort of do that spell, like you're sitting like in your little room, Nyx is kind of like, "Why so glum, chum?"
Something didn't work the way I thought it might.
That's the spell where you whip messages across time and space, right?
That's right.
Someone didn't pick up the other end.
Don't know that they could.
I'd love to help you. If you need any... look, I know things. Now I'm here. It's great, by the way. Brilliant. I ate a peach yesterday. It was great.
You never told me what you thought of the cider, by the way.
Oh, it was glorious. I couldn't because I've never had mortal alcohol before, and all the letters in my brain were upside down.
Yes, they do. Yes, that does happen sometimes.
But look, I know about the outer realms. I know about the hells. If you need questions answered, I know a thing or two about a thing or two. And now I am bound to your service until you die, and it's gonna take a while, so, you know, we might as well spend some time doing some trivia.
Well, that might be wishful thinking about it taking some time, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Insert joke about hornets.
You know, I do have allergies. But no. Regardless, a deceased individual. Is it possible to reach them through those types of magics?
Technically, they're a different person when they get to the other side. If they get where they're going, it takes a very strong will to retain your mind. It's only possible off, like, I can imagine you guys maybe doing it. You're hefty in
What
a
if the mind
mental
was
way.
imprinted onto another mechanical being before they passed?
Huh? What? Oh, well, if you copied a soul, then that's a whole different thing. I mean, you'd be trying to contact two different people. If you just kind of did like an echo of it, I mean, it's basically whether it's what you have or what someone else is trying to do. And I don't think any mortal on this realm could copy a soul.
I don't believe they copied the soul. I believe that they imprinted personality. if you
Yeah.
will,
Then
onto
that won't do anything. But let's assume, for your sake, that whoever this mystery person is got to Arvor, probably an elf. Bit racist to assume, but usually it's right.
They are.
When they get there, they don't have any memory of themselves, and they have what they had, but they're not them. Now, sometimes angels or other people in the heavens, like, they try and help them gain who they are again. If that happened, successfully happened, then maybe you'd get a reply. But a typical mortal can't do that, right? A typical mortal can't handle that kind of thing. Most people end up being a completely different person in heaven, which is kind of interesting. You know, that's actually why marriage exists, right? When you marry two mortals together, they're slapped together, they don't forget each other when they get to the right place. I shouldn't have told you that. That's gonna weigh on you for a long time. Whoops. I'm gonna go see what Virik is doing. And he just...
One moment. One more question.
Okay.
And don't worry.
Brutal.
It wasn't my choice to not marry. It was hers. So, it won't weigh on me any more than it already has for the last 5-ish years.
What's the question?
I told you I'm already a bit of a shitty person in a shitty place. My question is, if you meet a soul on the other side, are you able to reach it using those magics? Because you've met the soul.
Yeah. Well, it's just like how those magics work. You need to know the person. It's just, unfortunately, they're a different person now. If you were to go to Arvor and this elf was there, you could meet him. They probably wouldn't remember you.
There are many things that they don't know about me even as it is. But I'd still like to get to know them again if possible.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stories about lovers going across realms to try and find each other, and they find each other again and fall in love. I mean, it's possible.
But not likely.
Yeah. It would be hard. I mean, first of all, you have to get into heaven while being alive, and that is difficult. Although the elves are a little more willing about that, apparently. I've heard tell.
Good to know. Thank you. If you'd like, you can go see what Varric's up to now if you're feeling like you've made me uncomfortable or yourself uncomfortable.
You are emotionally exhausting, and I am an infinite fiend.
Yes, I have that effect.
Yeah, no, it's... I can understand why you blew those Mudron's minds. I mean, I barely understand. He just kind of walks off while turning invisible, and the door opens and closes.
Yeah. I'm gonna do another sending. And this is to that soul that I met that fell from the sky. And since I met him in the afterlife, I watched him become what he now is, and therefore I should be familiar with him. And my question is simply, did you make it to Arvor?
Roll me a d20.
Yep. D20 or D100? You've been going back and forth with me on those.
Look, just fuck it. Either way, doesn't really matter.
Same difference.
It's all the same. Yeah. I was doing D100, but then you said D20, and it makes more sense to do a D20. So you actually do hear a reply of a, yes, you were the kind soul who spoke to me. I'm where I belong now. In the vineyards with the spirits.
And for that sake, I will do another sending back. And I will say, I'm glad to hear it. May your soul be blessed, and may the hunt live on for you for all eternity. If you do happen to meet my former love, Althea, give her my wishes. My name, again, is Burwit Venerin.
Can you give me another D20, please?
I can.
Please do.
That's no...
Had a heart attack there.
I will search. I will look.
And then I'm going to be taking a shit ton of notes on how this magic works. Doing, like, making...
Yeah, he told you a lot.
And
marriage especially. That's a big one.
Yeah. Now I have to figure out how to get a marriage to be done in heaven. That's going to be interesting. Oh.
So,
so many problems.
funnily enough, during another night, when you're sleeping, of course, Beric and Barut don't sleep because elves don't sleep. You actually feel a presence in the room. Barut wakes you up, and Beric is probably will wake up at some point, but is a bit slower, we'll say, to wake. You see a person teleport into the room with sort of a jade green hair and jade eyes and lots of bangles and rings and a sort of whitish toga-like outfit, who has a very subtle smile on a still statuesque face. And she says, I see that you made it back. I am glad.
Long way from where we left, but back nonetheless.
I must apologize for how we met, but you do understand the situation.
Of course. Every situation is difficult these days. But
Sorry about that.
less so for you. You have a decision to make, a people to protect, an understanding of what is right and what is not. Your decisions, I assume, are not easy, but they are made. I understand that.
You understand the gods. Now, you came to me wanting something locked away. You did
Yes.
all that you were meant to do. If you want me to keep your stone safe that you brought to me, I can do so.
Yes. I would like you to keep it safe, but further than that, I have a question.
I will answer to the best of my abilities, as much as I am allowed.
Allowed. Very interesting word, isn't it? Assumes some level of authority put forward over top. Beyond even you. I've never liked that word. Leaves much up to interpretation. Regardless, I have interacted with a dragon sign. One that appears to maybe have had a fragment of a dragon's soul inside it. I now have that soul riding inside of me. Coming along for this adventure, as it were. I'm told that he tried to read my book on the Gatestones. But wasn't able to because I write in code, as it were. Apparently frustrated at me through my book, which I'm, as you can imagine, I'm not exactly prone to do. It's not something that I feel good about. These souls that, if a dragon has imparted part of its soul into a dragon sign and that has then been absorbed into me, what does that mean? What is the purpose of it? How does it exist there? And why does it exist there?
There is precedent for it. Rare. Some people are born with two souls. Exceedingly rarely. This is worrying. It is a possession. Quite literally. Possession. Where the parasite soul will grow. When a baby is born, their soul is young and new, but it is them, and it grows. That soul is growing in you, but in a fully formed body, absorbing as much knowledge as possible, and already has a good deal of knowledge imparted inside of it. Now, if that soul inside your mind is the soul I believe it to be, he was not the best of us. He could have been one of us. But some creatures seek to not have an end, but all things do end. Likely that parasitic soul will, as many possessions go, try to take control of your body and become the prominent soul, the prominent identity, and use your body most likely to return to its laboratory and continue its work. Probably create a new body.
Interesting. How much of it Well, that's not the right way to phrase that. How long?
It could be any time between 200 years and 2 years. It would take time, but I see from your face and your friend's reaction that you've already started to have episodes of loss, of it gaining control. The parasitic soul will gain more and more and will attempt to take control more and more until it is a battle. And whether it has control or not, it will be a difficulty.
I am not so arrogant to think that a dragon's soul is something that I can fend off forever. I am an arrogant man.
I am
No doubt
aware.
about that.
You attempted
But
to speak to a deity with quite spite.
I've done that a lot lately. It's not a habit that's going to change. I do apologize. It's not a matter of disrespect. It's simply a matter of the urgency of mortality, you see.
I understand.
I'm glad.
Someone
You're one of
won't.
the few. I believe someone already has it.
You are sitting before me.
I am.
Someone has allowed you to continue if you have insulted them.
Again, allowed is such a convoluted word. He simply rejected a deal. Which is a shame. I think he could have had a good decision ahead of him. But that's alright. You familiar with the ferryman?
I keep my eyes away from the fell realm until it starts to breach into mine. I have removed many artifacts of grand power from many creatures, would-be gods, on the path that the ferryman has taken. I know of them.
Well, he's gaining power and prominence. He's ferrying souls where the Valkyries don't. Seems a good cause to a lot of people. Even if he is a terrible individual himself.
Sometimes terrible individuals do have great causes, I believe. Your parasitic soul is one of them.
Well, perhaps he'll agree to just expel himself then. Carry on his cause somewhere else.
Could be possible. Do you want me to remove your gate stone? It'll be quite safe with me.
Please.
You
Yes.
present her the box. She will kind of twist her hands, and kind of a bubble opens that looks out into. You can kind
Can
of
we keep
see.
the box?
You can kind of see like a room. Can you have just like a cube room? You say that, and she kind of just like waves it off, like she doesn't care.
I'll take the box back out.
Yeah.
Lower the gates down. We have to store a few more of those. This is just going to save us some time. And I'll hand the box back to Virik.
If we find another gate stone, would we be able to contact you again to store it?
It is unprecedented for me to watch over your case more specially than others, but if you pray, I will hear.
Well, you know I will reach out directly.
That is not exactly what I meant. It's like as she says that, she takes the pale diamond gate stone, puts it into this pocket dimension, and closes it off.
I know. But, as you know, I'm an arrogant man.
She does kind of like look at you, look at Virik, look at where Nyx is invisible. And just nod and will say, no more, and will disappear.
Delightful.
Well,
At least that
He's
saves us
different.
a trip back to Watcher's Isle.
for now. I mean, we left our flying boat there. We gotta go back eventually.
Honestly, it's probably been eaten by lobsters.
Barry is actually just gonna be confused because he has no reason to disbelieve anything.
Yeah.
He's like, hang on, how? What? Oh.
Those giant lobsters that we saw on the shore, they probably tore it apart.
Yeah, we should probably
As someone
check
from
with
a,
our former captain to make sure she went back to,
as someone
I
from
will reach out.
a community that routinely fishes lobsters both in and out of game, I have several questions.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. So the rest of the sailing is pretty uneventful. Those 2 events happen. Other than that, you're working through rough weather. Blackfur seems to be pushing the ship as fast as it can go, which is causing a little bit of trouble. But after around 10 days, or during the whole time you're in this area where there's sort of two
Oh
cliffs.
my God, what is happening?
That's what planar movement looks like.
There's 2 train of thought. Woo!
Okay, that's train is down.
Through the last few days, you're going basically in like a natural, almost space of water that's kind of between 2 cliff faces, where you can see mountainous areas stretching off in the distance when the sky is clear. And because it's like, starting to be, late winter, early spring, actually the sky is clear most of the time out here. It is cold, but it's the kind of cold you're all familiar with down here. Little bit of ice in some places, but not a whole lot. And eventually you see, kind of in the nook there, a quite large and bustling seaside town with docks that has mostly small vessels, lots of fishing vessels. You pass a lot of them on the way in. And the Cutpurse, Blackfur's ship, will go over there and start to dock. The sort of style of the buildings and whatnot is a little strange to a lot of you. I mean, it is very clearly a different culture. Even the style of the ships is a little different. When you start docking and weigh anchor and all of that, Blackfur will come up to the top of the deck and will say, "Do your work and do your best. I can't promise anything, but if you need a ship and I'm about, I may be inclined to help. I'm a changeable bastard."
We appreciate all the helps thus far nonetheless. It's been an absolute pleasure journeying with you, and thank you again for the hospitality and your understanding. It's not every day that a crew of 4 teleports into your storage department.
I am smart enough to know that there are things in this world beyond my comprehension and understanding. Honestly, you could have a mage cast little balls of light and that boggles my brain, so you're just all the same to me.
Well, I assure you, we are of a different sort, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Good luck out there on both of your quests.
Thank you.
May the hunt well.
Very close.
He turns and nods and walks away, quite proud of that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was definitely in like pigeon elvish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you can stop off on the docks. Most of the people you see are halflings. Halflings in quite Usually it seems like a little bit higher level of technology than halflings you ever would have seen, aside from Barut, who's aware of how they are here. But the buildings in the town itself, some of them are built to a sort of more halfling size, but most of them appear to be for, all the ragtag community here. It's, as Barut can explain, the one place kind of on this nation, in this part of the nation, where that is free from the government that the Zalstellas have. So all the sort of strange races like Tabaxi and elves who come down from the mountains and things like that kind of end up hanging out here and fishing and trading and stuff like that. So it's a little trade docking city. It's, quite bustling, but not busier than Slate Cove, but not as busy as Aradia. You know how it is. What's the goal?
You guys are gonna go.
We're gonna heal some sick
and
people,
lots of people.
make some friends, and see if we can get a lead on the Gatestone, right?
I am going to go drink with some people and try to get some leads on the Gatestone.
Hell yeah! All right, considering it's not been an hour, but it's coming up on an hour, we'll take a quick break.
Yep.
And we'll be back to drink with people